Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young maiden. In her absence, the earth grows cold and flourishes in her wake, flowers budding in the most vibrant of colors. Reborn again, time after time, bringing the sweet sounds of springtime with each new birth. But she is always destined to return to the place of ash and fire, the clutches of Hades never letting her escape for too long. The goddess of spring and queen of the underworld. Her name is Persephone. Hey guys, what's up? It's Dana and welcome back to my channel. This video is super fun, so let's waste no time in getting on into it. Starting with a completely fresh face, I'm just spraying some water onto my beauty blender to dampen it a little before going in with my NYX Total Drop Control Foundation and just applying a few drops all over my face and then using the fat end of my beauty blender to blend this in. I use patting motions rather than swiping to get the most coverage out of the foundation, as well as make sure the beauty blender picks up the least amount of product. To add a base onto the eyes, I'm just taking a foundation stick and applying this right on and using my beauty blender to blend the product onto my eyelids. To set this, I'm going in with a dense flat brush and an off-white matte eyeshadow and just lightly applying this from the lid to the brow bone to set that entire area. To begin defining the crease, I'm going in with a fluffy brush and just lightly applying a taupe eyeshadow with a bit more pink undertones first, building this right up into the crease and angling it a little out towards the end of my brow bone, and then slowly fading it up towards the tops of my brow bones because we really want to make a new eye shape for this look that's very open and elongated. Then to go in and really start deepening this area, I'm taking a pure pink eyeshadow and just buffing this right into the crease. I'm patting it into place first and then using the tapered crease brush to really feather it out and blend it into that same shape that we laid down before, making sure to go back with this blending brush that had the taupe eyeshadow to really get the most seamless blend between all of the edges. This step is a bit tedious, but by going back and forth between the two shades, it will help out the most in the end. Used to pit on my life, standing on rainbows, playing it cool. Then going in with a black eyeliner pencil, I'm just applying this onto the inner 2/3 of my eye, and I'm not trying to make it look neat or anything because all this is doing is acting as a base for the black eyeshadow that we will be applying in a second. I really like using this before I put on black eyeshadow because I find black eyeshadows are really hard to get rid of once you apply them and they have a lot of fallout, so having a base for the eyeshadow to stick to really helps, especially when you want a more controlled area. I'm using a dense brush and light patting motions to stick the black right where I want it to go, and I found that the transition between the black and the pink was a little harsh, so I used a deep brown eyeshadow on a very tiny blending brush and applied this right into the crease on the outer bits of where the black was, and then went in with more pink on top of that to bring back the pink and magenta shades into the look. This is another step where you're going to be going back and forth a lot between the pink, the taupe, and the brown where you want to deepen up. It's all about getting the most seamless blend and the best smoky eye possible. You really do need quite a bit of patience to go through this, but trust me, it pays off a whole lot in the end. You end up getting a really nice smoky edge, which you probably wouldn't have achieved if you weren't as patient with the blending process. Now, moving on to the brows, I'm just taking a spoolie first and lightly running this through my brows to get the hairs all going in the direction that I want them to before moving on and taking a very small angled brush and a mixture of two brown eyeshadows, one a little lighter and one a little darker, and using a mixture of these two to fill them in. I use very light strokes to fill in my brows just because I want to make them look a little more natural. I like adding a little line to the bottom and then fading it upwards to get the most natural blend. When it comes to the arch, I'm making it much more defined because I do want our goddess to have some pretty freaking awesome brows. Once it's all filled in, I like going in with the spoolie again just to make sure they are perfectly uniformed, and then I'm doing the exact same on the other brow. Once the brows have been taken care of, I'm taking a very small brush, spraying a little bit of water onto it, and then dipping it into a green eyeshadow, and just applying this into the inner 1/3 of my lower lash line, then taking a deeper green shimmery eyeshadow, applying that to the outer corner of my lash line, and then a more teal blue onto the inner corner, and making sure there is a nice blend between all three colors. In the end, we want the lower lash line to look a little bit like that. Make sure when you're applying the shadow you try to keep it as close to your lash line as possible, and by having the brush a little bit damp but not super wet, you'll get the best pigmentation and sheen from your eyeshadows. Then, to bring some light into our inner corner and brow bone, I'm taking a mixture of a pink shimmer shade and one with a bit more of a gold tone to it, and applying this pretty generously into the inner corner and onto the brow bone as well, just to bring a lot of light and shine back into this area since the lid is kind of dark. Then, jumping back to the face, I'm taking a translucent powder on a giant fluffy brush and just applying this all over my face to set my foundation, as well as get rid of any possible fallout that may have occurred. Jumping into my NYX Contour Pro palette, I'm taking the two middle shades in that bottom row of contour powders and mixing these together to create my perfect shade, and I'm applying this with a fluffy brush right into the hollows of my cheekbones, not dragging it too far in, but having a nice little blend there, and also dragging this on top of my temples to bring a little more color and bronze to that area. When contouring, you don't want to go in with a whole lot of product at first. You want to kind of build it up to get the right amount of shadow that you want, otherwise you might end up with a very harsh dark line, which isn't a good look. Then onto blush, I'm mixing two different pinks. One's a little more peachy toned, while one's a bit more light baby pink, and I'm just applying this onto the apples of my cheeks and blending this back into my hairline for a nice flush back into the face. To highlight, I'm taking the silver highlighter from the NYX Contour Pro palette. It is absolutely stunning. As you'll see here, I had a pretty freaking funny reaction to how awesome this highlighter is. I'm just using very light motions to apply this onto the cheekbones, pretty generously, I will admit, and then I'm also bringing this onto the tip and bridge of my nose as well as my cupid's bow, just to bring it all together. Once you've got your glow on, go ahead and move on to the eyeliner. I'm just dragging a line out from my lower lash line that is in line with all of the shadows that we put down there, just to create the most cohesive look. Once I'm satisfied with the length of that line, I'm just dragging it in back to my lash line and thinning out the line as it moves into my inner corner, as well as doing a tiny little point in the inner corner just to bring it all together. After applying some false lashes, I'm running some mascara through my upper and lower lashes just to add a bit more drama and make my upper lashes blend in with the falsies. To finish off the face, I'm going in with a raisin colored lip liner from NYX, and I'm just applying this onto my lips, keeping them lined in the shape that they are, just to make sure that the lipstick stays and does not stray past my lips, because I am using a darker shade. Then going in with a matte raisin, almost more maroon lipstick, I'm applying this onto my lips to fill in the rest of the area and complete the face portion of this makeup look. Then, once the lips are filled in, I'm taking down my hair and then applying in my hair pieces. So I've got this flower crown first, and then I found these horns that I made, and I'm just applying these on right behind the flower crown to complete the costume, to bring in a little bit more of the underworldiness into this look, because not only is she the goddess of spring, she is queen of the underworld, so I wanted to add some dark, decaying, ashy looking bits to her look. I'm taking a sponge that I tore up the bottom of to make it more stipply, and I'm just dipping this in a lot of black eyeshadow and then lightly tapping it onto the areas that I want it to be applied. This way it gives it a very smoky, decaying, ashy looking texture to her skin. I applied this onto the tops of her shoulders, on the one side of my neck that is more exposed, so where I have my hair tucked behind my ear, and also right on my chest, right below my collarbone. Then I thought, why not? We are going to add some highlighter into the chest area too, after applying the same stippliness to the backs of my hands and a little down my arms. I just applied a little bit of highlighter to the collarbones because I really wanted them to be a little bit more pronounced than they usually were and provide contrast to the black that is in the area as well. And with all that being done, you have your completed Persephone makeup look. What's up, it's Dana and welcome back to my channel. This video is so special to me and I'm so proud of it. For those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for a while now, you will know for the past 3 years I have entered the Next Face Awards. This year I am entering again. Fourth time's the charm. Here we go. This year I decided to create a look for Persephone. In Greek mythology, she is the queen of the underworld and the goddess of spring. I found these horns kicking in my closet. I made them last summer probably and then just never got around to using them for anything, so I put them to good use in this. I'm super proud of how this all came together. I love it so much. If you guys are interested in the Next Face Awards, I'll make sure to link all of their information in the description below for you to go and check out. If you want to see the little miniature shoot I did with this look, make sure to go and check out my Instagram. I don't think I've publicly told you guys about it, but it is at Dana Hansen Photography. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean the absolute world to me if you did. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here and don't want to miss out on any new videos. And that's all for this video. I will talk to you guys all next time. Until then, peace out.